Hello, and welcome to Unity Church on the Mountain, on the road, on this Easter Sunday morning. Let's begin with our opening statement. There is only one presence and one power in my life and the universe, God. And I have lit a Christ candle, symbolizing that perfect potential that we all have within us, the image of God, the Christ. There is nowhere we can go where we are without it, and no when we ever were without it. The title of the talk this morning is The Resurrection. When we're born into this world, from our mother's womb, we are pure potential. We are born of the living water, pure essence. But we have no knowledge. We don't know what it takes to survive in the world. Everything is provided for us. And quickly we begin to learn. We begin to learn that a smile will get us special attention from our caregiver, and that crying can bring another kind of attention. We begin to communicate. We begin to build our ego consciousness. And throughout our whole lives, we've been building that ego consciousness by our education so that we can learn how to survive in this world. When Nicodemus comes to visit Jesus at night in John chapter 3, he has some questions for Jesus. Nicodemus, you see, is a Pharisee and a member of the Sanhedrin, a very educated man and well respected amongst his people. But there are some things about Jesus' teaching that he doesn't understand. And most of their discussion centers around the question of how can one be born a second time? Nicodemus asked Jesus, how is it possible to enter into the womb and be born again? And Jesus responds that even with all his education, he's not seeing it right. So how is it that we're supposed to see this second birth, this resurrection? See, we're to be born of water and of spirit. It's necessary to look at a statement like that from an inner teaching and not from something outside us. If we look at the word spirit, spirit is the same word in the Greek as breath. It's something that is insubstantial. It cannot be grasped. We know it's there from the things that it shows us. And Charles Fillmore would go a step further And he says that spirit is idea stuff. Because remember, the divine order for Charles Fillmore is that everything is divine mind, the ideas in divine mind, and their manifestation or their expression. All things are divine mind, the ideas in divine mind, or their expression. So spirit, the spirit world, is the world of ideas. The world of ideas. We can look in ourselves, and we can, as we look within, we can notice that the same thing that happens with divine mind, divine idea, and expression happens within us. That we have our mind, we have ideas in the mind, and we have their expressions. When our focus is on the things around us, then we are living only a partial life. The fullness of life is realized in the Spirit. It is realized as we have right thought. When we see ourselves and those around us as the perfect wholeness that we are all truly the image of Source, symbolized by the Christ light. As we become distracted by the pretty things that are around us, or by the ugly things that are around us, our focus shifts to this world, and we forget who we truly are. And when this happens, we have been given tools to bring ourselves back. In unity, we often hear about denials and affirmations. Denials not of the situation, because the situation is what it is. However, we deny the situation to have power over our experience of the situation, our inner experience of the situation, how it is that we see it. Do we see it with a healthy eye, or do we allow ourselves to be clouded by darkness? A very simple denial, such as not this. When my thoughts begin to go down this path, this spiral, and I know that they're not leading me to a sense of my wholeness, to a sense of our wholeness, our oneness. There are signs, and I recognize this. As soon as I recognize it, I have a denial at ready in my pocket, and my favorite one is not this. It's very simple, it's very short, and has power. The denial creates a little bit of breathing room for me to bring out my favorite affirmation, the affirmation I have in my other hip pocket. I am that I am. This statement of the name of God has become my favorite affirmation. I am that. I am. I am that oneness. I am. I am that wholeness. I am. I am created in the image of Source. Perfect, harmonious, whole. I am. When we can bring such a positive statement to our consciousness, we undergo a transformation. And when we continue through time, in each successive now moment, to hold such ideas in consciousness, we transform. We are born in spirit. The resurrection takes place in us. My experience has been that it's not a snap of the finger, instantaneous night to day change. My experience is one that has been gradual through many years. And over those years, there have been times when I was doing more sliding back into darkness and seeing the darkness, and other times where I've been growing, oftentimes in spurts. I grow when I see myself in its true divinity. And I grow even more when I see everyone I meet in their true identity as spiritual beings, as perfect, harmonious, and whole. Even the ones it may be the most difficult to love. When I can bring that love, then I receive back. Now you may be wondering what's going on here on the side of my head and face. It looks pretty bad, and it looks worse than it is. But perhaps it is that even a coronavirus outbreak was not enough, because social distancing for someone who is primarily a number 5 on the Enneagram is just too easy. So I had to bring something upon myself to help me to observe even more in this time, so that I can have an even further opportunity to experience what people are going through. I thought last Sunday that I had a spider bite on the top of my head, but it continued to grow, and little ones sprouted out around it. It became a little closer to my eye. My ear began to hurt. So I thought, well, maybe it's not a spider bite. And if it is, I really should get it looked at. So I went to the doctor Thursday. And I'm pretty sure that I have shingles. So I got the chicken pox again. At least it's during a time of social distancing, so no one's going to catch it from me. But I will say that I have come to know pain in a different relationship, I think, than I ever had. I think before that, the closest I had ever had to pain were some broken fingers. At any rate, in case you were wondering what that is on the side of my face, that is several shingles. So I was speaking about the visit where Nicodemus came to visit Jesus. And Jesus explained to him what it was to be reborn, to be born again, to be born a second time. And I'm not sure, but the first time that I ever realized that there was more to life than just this sense world, that may have been a very important moment of being born a second time. However, I don't personally think that that is the only time that I've been born again or born anew. No, I think that whenever I stray and I forget who I am blinded temporarily, and then when I uncloud my eyes and I can see the truth anew, that I am born again and again and again. However many times it's necessary. However many times it's necessary. And necessary to what? To what end? Why, until I can fully realize that perfect potential that is within me. That's how many times. Some of you may have seen the necklace that I've been wearing. I've changed the style cross that I wear. This necklace is a tau, T-A-U, tau. That's a Greek shape of the sound tau. When in English it would be a T. However, it was used in the Old Testament. The last letter of the Hebrew alphabet is tau. In the older Hebrew lettering, it was simply an X. It was said to be the mark. It ends something. It finalizes something. So tau is that perfect realization of our wholeness. It is the Christ. It is each of us as we realize our perfect potential and are resurrected into spirit. And I thought, what a beautiful symbol it is. And it's a little different. So it doesn't have ideas that are associated with it from as many places. You would see it as Franciscans wear it. That's where I saw it. James Francis Twyman had one on, and I saw him give a lecture, and I thought, what a beautiful little cross. And so I went and looked for one and found one, and I've been wearing it since. But it's the symbol. It's what it symbolizes that I like the most. Even more than an empty cross, it symbolizes that final completion, the full and perfect potential that we each are. The full and perfect potential that we see in ourselves and that we see in others. For me, that is the message of Easter. Jesus, throughout the Gospels, often spoke of a central theme: the suffering, the death, and the resurrection. He mentions it to his disciples several times in the Gospel of John, and begins mentioning it as early as chapter 3. The suffering, which we spoke about last Sunday, and the death, And finally today, the resurrection. Being born of Spirit. Realizing our perfect potential. I'd like to sing a song that really makes me think of this. It's not one I wrote. It is a song by Karen Drucker. And you may have heard me sing it before as well. But that's just because I like it, and I really think it fits this Easter. It's called I See the Beauty in You. And remember, it is by Karen Drucker. It is not one that I wrote. I see the beauty in you. I see the power in you. I see the greatness in you. And so it is. I see the child in you. I see the sweetness in you. I see the softness in you. And so it is. And I could see it's right there before me. I can feel it deep in my soul. And I just know I see the beauty in you. I see the power in you. I see the greatness in you. And so it is. I see a child in you. I see the sweetness in you. I see the softness in you. And so it is. And I can see it. It's right there before me. I can feel it my soul, and I just know it, that you are an angel full of magic and power and pure sweet love. I see the goodness in you. I see the wisdom in you. I see the strength in you. And so it is. I see the joy that's in you. I see your light shining through. I see the love that's in you. And so it is. And I can see it. It's right there before me. I can feel it. Oh, deep in my soul. And I just know it, that you are an angel full of magic and power and pure sweet love. I see the grace that's in you. I see the courage in you. I see the heart that's in you. And so it is. I see the spirit in you. I see the truth that's in you. I see the love that's in you. And so it is. I see the Christ in you. I see the Christ in you. I see the Christ in you. And so it is. And I can see it. It's right there before me. I can feel it deep in my soul. And I just know it, you are an angel full of magic and power and pure sweet love. You're full of magic and power and pure sweet love. You're full of magic and power and pure sweet love. And now, Please join me in affirming our prayer for protection. The light of God surrounds us. I am the light. The love of God enfolds us. I am the love. The power of God protects us. I am the power. The presence of God watches over us. I am the presence. Wherever we are, God is, and all is well. Thank you. Happy Easter and Namaste.